At 2:42 p.m., Kris texts Nicole Kessinger saying, "Promise. I'm about loyalty, truthfulness, and being dedicated. I don't like playing games, unless it's role-playing. If you want me there, I will be there. Ice cream, cookies, and lollipops, sounds like a cheat meal night lol." This is the first registered text message between them. Shanann was busy posting Thrive posts and San Diego trip pictures. Kessinger obviously wanted Kris, because that day he goes to her home taking condoms with him. Nicole Kessinger said approximately the 27th of June 2018, Kris brings condoms to her house. One box is full and unopened, the second is a set of condoms from a partially used box. She asked Kris why he has a set of partially used condoms. He informs her that the condoms he has are from back when he was still having sex with his wife. He told her they had been sitting in a closet collecting dust and that Shanann probably did not even know they were still there. Kessinger asked why him and Shanann used to use condoms. He said that Shanann didn't like to get messy. Kessinger was curious, so she looked up the expiration date on the condoms, and noted that the unopened set expired in late 2022, and the opened set expired in early 2023. She looked up the lifespan of an unopened condom and discovered it is approximately 5 years. Based on her research, she assumed these condoms were manufactured in late 2017 and early 2018. They wasted no time getting together once Shanann and the girls left. They spent the 26th together and now the 27th, and obviously sex was happening between them also, hence the condoms. June 28, 2018. Shanann spent most of this day posting Thrive products and updates. At 4:54 p.m., she posted that it was 88 degrees, 50% humidity, and she'd rather be in Colorado where it's 106 degrees. And that she had been bitten by mosquitoes 1,000 times already. At 8:38 p.m., Troy McCoy asked Kris, "How do I find out what gear ratio is in my truck?" At 8:56 p.m., Kris replied, "Take a picture of the tag on the rear end, should be connected to one of the bolts." Troy replied, 10:04. Friday, June 29, 2018. Nicole Kessinger left on this day to go camping with her friends, for her birthday getaway. Her birthday is the 3rd of July. At 8:13 a.m., Shanann posted a quote about family. At 7:34 p.m., Kris texted Kessinger saying, "I'm still going to see you. It won't be as often as we like, but I will make it happen. You think you're the only one addicted right now? I'm so hooked on you." Again at 8:12 p.m., Kris texted Kessinger saying, "Sleeping without your warm body next to me isn't going to be fun tonight." Showing again they were actively sleeping with each other. According to Kris and Kessinger, they only met up after the San Diego trip, that was 3 days ago, yet they're both already so hooked on each other, and for Kris to say, "I'm still going to see you," shows again, in my opinion, things are much further ahead than we are being told. Nicole Kessinger paid Jim Gutowski on Venmo for food. Saturday, June 30, 2018. Shanann and the girls are staying at Kris's parents' house. Shanann stayed 3 or 4 days with her parents, and then 3 or 4 days with Kris's parents. First weekend was great. At 11:11 a.m., Shanann posted, "This morning has been so busy. Enjoying the girls while helping so many friends' teammates crush their goals. This picture I feel Shanann took on purpose, the look on her face tells me this. I believe this was to embarrass Cindy, Kris's mom. It's no secret that they didn't like each other." At 4:28 p.m., Kessinger texted Kris saying, "I have an idea, by the way. I have a free hotel stay at the Holiday Inn, not sure if you can swing it this month, but we can road trip to the mountains or southern Colorado for a day or 2 if you want. Won't cost a dime lol." They obviously texted back and forth or spoke on the phone. We haven't been made privy to these texts or calls, but Kessinger at 6:39 p.m. texted Kris, saying, "She supports me, but her parents were in a situation like that when she was a kid, and it came up. It won't bother me. I'm not going to stop seeing you. I made up my mind. Are we bad people?" This to me reads as though Kessinger has told someone about her and Chris also knew about it. Her friend Brittany is there camping with her, and I believe she told Brittany about Chris at this point. In an interview, Chris says Nicole told her friend Brittany and Brittany told her to not do it, but Kessinger said she had already made her decision. This is exactly as the text reads that Kessinger sent to Chris. So it was lies from Kessinger when she said no one knew about her and Chris.
Like during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like, if what actually worked.
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made her decision.
Okay.
Chris that evening searched the internet for information on tickets to Bandimere Speedway. Shanann posted a pic of the girls sleeping, saying, "Sweetest pic ever." At 8:54 p.m., Shanann posted that Chris was living the bachelor life. He ate T-bones for dinner the last 3 nights and bought shrimp and goodies. He's sleeping in and working out. June 2018. Melissa Parrish started work at Anadarko in May 2018, and she said she met Christopher Watts toward the end of June 2018, and she generally sees Chris about once a week. Nicole Kessinger said her and Chris started hanging out and met at a park near her house, East Lake No. 3. They first met at the park in the end of June or the beginning of July. This was their first meeting outside of work. She said they were there for a few hours. This time frame I believe is incorrect, because they spoke in person on the 26th of June and he was already going to her house with condoms on the 27th of June, leading me to believe their first meeting was earlier than she is saying, or she dropped her pants instantly for Chris. Lauren Arnold said the last time she saw Shanann was about a week before Shanann and the girls went to North Carolina. Lauren thought that was about the last week of June 2018. Lauren said Shanann talked to her about being pregnant and she said Shanann was excited about having another baby. Shanann told her that Chris also wanted another baby and he wanted to have a baby boy. Sunday, July 1, 2018. Shanann posted a couple of Thrive posts. At 1:25 p.m., Chris texted Kessinger saying, "I'd love to be a part of it. Being in your life is something I crave." At 5:04 p.m. Shanann posted that Chris had deep cleaned her Lexus inside and out. Chris was keeping busy at home because Nicole Kessinger was still away in the mountains with her friends. Later that evening at 9:23 p.m., Chris texted Kessinger saying, "Conserve it while you can. I enjoyed our conversation tonight. I hope you have a great night, sweet dreams Nikki." We have no in-between texts to know what they were discussing. Around this time Chris told Kessinger that he loved her. Chris said he never slept at home the whole month of July, he stayed at Kessinger's. He said whenever Shanann called he was at Kessinger's and would go outside and walk around during the phone call to talk to her. July 2, 2018. Ronnie Watts in interview said, "My next-door neighbor had passed away. This was on the day Shanann was going to go back to Southern Pines, to her parents. My wife said, I have got to go get my hair done, I have got to go get some flowers for the neighbor, and she was also going to go to the Subaru dealership where Ronnie worked, to get him to sign some papers on a car they were buying. I said to Shanann, do you want me to take you back now or just wait until this afternoon? Shanann said, I'll just wait, no problem. So my wife went and got her hair done and got some flowers, and she went to a couple of other places, and then realized she had left her phone at the hairdresser's. So my daughter went and got it and she came to my work, because we was at the finance office signing the paperwork, and Shanann texted me and said, where in the hell is Cindy at? I been alone here with these kids for 5 hours. Ronnie said, I should have told her they are your kids. Ronnie said Shanann had his wife in tears and she told Shanann, I will be there in a minute. Shanann said, that's all right, I'll get my daddy to come get me, as soon as I can get the car seats out of Ronnie's truck. So she left mad that day. Chris called later that night and said, Shanann asked me, what are you gonna do, Chris? Chris said he didn't want to hear her mouthing. Ronnie said, what the hell you want me to do? Cindy and her just don't get along. Chris said, Mom this and this, that and the other, and that's just the way she is sometimes, and I said yeah, okay I'll do it for you. Ronnie also said they had bought a trampoline, a swimming pool and another TV for their room, a bigger TV for them all. At 2:43 p.m., Shanann posted saying, "My kids are out cold since 12:30. I think I should wake them now. It's almost 3 p.m. So she really wasn't struggling with the girls alone, as for the past 2.5 hours the girls had been sleeping." At 5:18 p.m., Shanann posted that Celeste was hangry, meaning mad and hungry, and that the girls were so off their routine. Shanann also posted a picture of herself in a car. They was most probably on their way back to her parents. July 3, 2018. Nicole Kessinger's birthday. Kessinger came back from her camping in the mountains birthday getaway. Chris sent roses and a birthday card in which he stated he hopes all of her dreams come true and that her year is filled with smiles, laughter and love. Shanann told Cassie Rosenberg that her and Chris were not talking on the phone much her first week in North Carolina and that Chris was being very strange. At 10:14 a.m., Shanann posted saying, "I'm surviving this humidity, bugs the size of birds and the hustle with kids and family. We have been going non-stop for over a week, lots of new thrivers and I'm 9.5 weeks preggo. I'm truly grateful for the mood support and patience I get from Thrive." Shanann, even though she must have been worrying about the change in Chris, was still smiling and looking happy. The rest of Shanann's posts that day were regarding Thrive. Chris went to Kessinger's and spent the night. Wednesday, July 4, 2018. Independence Day. Chris had this day off from work. At 7:30 a.m., Chris said he woke up and he had got 10 missed calls from Shanann, and while Kessinger was in the shower he went outside to call her back. Shanann asked Chris where he had been and he told her he was sleeping. Shanann said she didn't know where Chris was at, she was annoyed and hung up on him. Chris then went inside and told Kessinger. She asked Chris if he was going to be coming back and Chris said probably not. Kessinger then got upset and Chris left and went home.
July 4th, I didn't have to work that day. So I didn't get up at 4 o'clock and go home. Mm-hmm. And Shanann called me 10 times in a row. And I didn't hear it because I was sleeping. And I was just and she was pissed. Shanann was pissed. And I called her on outside, where are you at? I was I didn't have to work today. It's you called me at 5:30. It's the kids want to talk to you at 7:30. I'm I was sleeping. She's she just screw you, I don't know where you're at. And I went back inside, so I gotta go. And she was just okay, are you coming back? I'm probably not.
So wait a minute, you kind of lost me there. Were you at Nikki's place when Shanann called you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so you were sleeping in her bed?
Yeah, because I wasn't going to work that day because I didn't have to that day.
Okay.
The first holiday I ever had off. And, Shanann was pissed and, it kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left.
At 8:01 a.m., Shanann posted saying, "Happy 4th of July everyone. Stay safe and have a great day." Then at 8:14 a.m., she posted a picture of herself. Chris at 8:56 a.m. on his personal phone, called Shanann and held a 90-minute conversation. During this phone call Shanann posted to Facebook, "There will be days when you struggle, want to give up, and don't want to face the world. These are the days that define you, never quit." July 4th was also one of the first times Chris said he fought with Kessinger. When he took the morning call from Shanann, Kessinger was upset and felt she would always be playing second fiddle to his wife when he left her house after the call. Chris called Kessinger when he got home and told her just because he had to leave didn't mean she needed to take a step back. Kessinger told him she thought it was better they didn't see each other the rest of the day. But apparently, she changed her mind and went over there a little while later. Kessinger said she sat on the front living room floor helping Watt set up MyFitnessPal app on his phone to track his food, calories etc. Kessinger said in her August 16th interview that the first time she went to Chris's house he let her in through the front door, and she remembers all the furniture was near the door as he had cleaned the carpets, and would put the furniture back when the carpets were dry. If that's the case, how could she have been sat on that carpet? She distinctly says front room while helping Chris with diet goals.
Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up MyFitnessPal app and track his food, his calories and stuff, because he does pretty good with the working out and stuff. And he asked me, he's like, "Can you help me just get this dialed in?" It's like, "Yeah, I can do that." So that he invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of hesitant to do it because I was like, there are other people that live here, and I just felt like it was an invasion of space. And so I went up there, and we just stayed in that front room, and I helped him out with that, and got him all set up with that. And then
did he use a key to access the house?
No, he did not. The first time I went over there, he just let me in, though, because I remember he had just cleaned. It was the first time I went through his front door, because he had just cleaned his carpets, and he had moved all the furniture out of the way, and the furniture was kind of in the way of the door. And he's like, "The door doesn't open all the way right now. I'll move all the furniture back when the carpet dries." So I do remember that, just kind of offhandedly.
Also note Chris in his interviews never once mentioned cleaning his carpets before Kessinger went over there. In her interview, Kessinger said she stayed for lunch. Chris cooked grilled chicken and carrots. She said she complimented his home as being very beautiful. Chris said that he had always wanted a smaller, ranch-style home. He said Shanann insisted on the big house because she liked to throw parties and make it look like they had everything. Kessinger asked him what type of parties he was referring to. Chris shook his head and said, "Just expensive parties." Chris then told her they had the house built, and the only part of the design that he had any say in was in the stone work and the paint color on the exterior of the house. Chris said his mortgage was $2,800 a month and he was tired of being house broke. Kessinger asked why it was so expensive. He said that about $500 of the $2,800 was homeowner's insurance. Kessinger asked Chris if he would come over to her house that night. She then left to go to a Colorado Rockies baseball game. I believe she went to the baseball game with Jim Gutowski, because on this day she pays him on Venmo for Rockies. That evening Chris went to watch the Independence Day fireworks, with Nick and Amanda Thayer. At 6:53 p.m., Chris texted Kessinger saying, "I'm getting drenched right now lol, like to see you all wet in the rain." At 6:59 p.m., he said, "My signal sucks so bad here, it might take a while to download your pictures. Crushed tacos and..." Text cut out so can't see the remainder of it. He texted her again at 7:30 p.m., saying, "I had a protein shake before I left, I thought there would be more here, I'm resisting the funnel cakes and tater twists lol." We don't have any text sent between these from Kessinger, but she obviously sent him some pictures that he had trouble downloading. Also note he was texting her while he was with Nick and Amanda Thayer. At 8:02 p.m., Shanann posted, So much for 20% of rain, no fireworks for us tonight." She was attending Fun Family 4th of July at Aberdeen Parks and Recreation Department. I believe these photos taken of the girls was probably on the 4th of July due to them having sparklers. At 10:30 p.m., Chris texted Kessinger saying, "I'm in stopped traffic too. 112th, lots of people here." Soon after at 10:44 p.m., Chris had watched the Independence Day fireworks with Nick and Amanda Thayer in Thornton. He apparently stopped by their home afterwards, his personal phone connected to their router. While he was with the Thayers, Nick asked Chris, "What's it like to be a bachelor?" Chris said it was weird being in an empty home and that he was working out all the time. Chris also told Nick that Shanann was trying to FaceTime him but the service wasn't great. He told Nick he would try to hide if he was having fun because it upset Shanann. He also said if he doesn't answer his phone like when in the shower or working out, Shanann gets upset. Nicole Kessinger returned from the baseball game she attended, and Chris left the Thayers to go to her house. At 11:02 p.m., Chris texted Kessinger to let her know he had just pulled up to her place. Nicole Atkinson posted to Facebook that she got married on this day. This looks to have been done on the quiet as comments show people were shocked. Thursday, July 5, 2018. At 5:51 a.m., Chris left his house to go to work. As we know, he slept at Kessinger's the night prior, and he states himself that he slept there every night in the month of July. I believe he leaves her house and goes home to swap the Lexus for his work truck, to call Shanann from home and to sort Dita the dog out. He also said he comes home after work, he will work out and eat and then goes to Kessinger's in I believe the Lexus. At 6:15 a.m., Chris arrives at the Anadarko office. Shanann at 7:24 a.m. commented on Nicole Atkinson's marriage post. Seems Shanann also did not know her friend was getting married. At 2:24 p.m., Shanann called Chris on his personal phone and held a 2.5-minute conversation. Later at 4:18 p.m., Shanann posted a video saying Celeste loves the rain. She said Chris was watching.
Mommy, I don't want to go back way
Okay,
out
come on.
there.
You don't have to. Cece's having fun. She's like, this is what rain feels like? Was that fun? No, go back out there. Daddy's on here watching you.
Let me go get you a towel.
Is that fun? Did you have fun?
Did you play in the rain?
Are you playing in the rain?
You played in the rain. You got all wet.
Say hi, everybody.
Did you play in the rain?
Yeah, was it fun?
You got all wet too.
Bella kinda did. She didn't like it too much.
You didn't like it.
No.
It's fun playing in puddles.
I know. Cece was having a ball in it, right, Cece? Mm-hmm.
Chris at 6:37 p.m. called Shanann on his personal phone and held a 13-minute conversation. Somehow this call is ended or disconnected because as soon as it ends at 6:50 p.m., Shanann called Chris back on his personal phone and held a nearly 7-minute conversation. At 8:18 p.m., Shanann posted saying Colorado spoiled us, missing Colorado weather, less than 10% humidity, plus Bella's allergies are kicking her butt. Friday, July 6, 2018. At 5:59 a.m., Chris leaves home for work. At 6:15 a.m., he arrives at the Anadarko office. At 7:19 a.m., Chris texts Josh Rosenberg a joke from his personal phone. Boss, why should I hire you? Guy, I'll bend over forwards for you. Boss, I think you mean backwards. Guy, whatever you say, Daddy. Boss, get the fuck out of my office. At 7:19 a.m., Josh replied, I'm ready just in case I get an interview. 7:47 a.m., Chris replied, haha, that might be how some people get hired here, lol. 7:48 a.m., Josh replied, hey, I do a lot for the well-being of my family, lol. 7:48 a.m., Chris replied, hell, yeah man, lol. 7:48 a.m., Josh replied, how's the bachelor life? 7:48 a.m., Chris replied, working out a lot, picking up the weekend shifts. Going by fast so far. 7:49 a.m., Josh replied, awesome. 7:49 a.m., Chris sent a workout emoji. 7:50 a.m., Josh replied, hell yeah, this beach body thing is nuts, I'm picking up extra work as well, I put in a few more ups, feel weird being in the house alone. 8:16 a.m., Chris replied, I bet the beach body workouts are crazy, I've been trying to eat a little cleaner with no kids around, it's a little weird, but I've been keeping busy. At 9:57 a.m., Shanann called Chris on his personal phone and held a 3-minute conversation. She called back shortly afterwards and held a nearly 4-minute conversation. At 3:25 p.m., Chris arrives home from work. Chris calls Shanann from his personal phone at 3:51 p.m. and held an 11-minute conversation. Shanann at 4:42 p.m. posted that she was picking up pizza with Bella. She said, don't mind the shiny face, it's hot out. They were at Brooklyn Pizzeria. Shortly after at 4:51 p.m., Shanann called Chris on his personal phone and held a 3-minute conversation. Please assume all calls from and to Chris are on his personal phone unless I say otherwise. At 6:35 p.m., Chris called Shanann and held a nearly 8-minute conversation. Shortly after at 6:52 p.m., Shanann told Chris to call Vivint before she flips. Chris advised, they are sending a sensor for the garage door. I tried moving it like they said, and it didn't work. Saturday, July 7, 2018. At 12:09 a.m., Kessinger called Chris and held a nearly 2-minute conversation, the first call between the two found in his phone. I don't know why she called him, they were supposed to have spent every night together, but her calling him this late has me wondering. At 5 a.m., Shanann called Chris and held a 5-minute conversation. Then at 5:49 a.m., Shanann again called Chris and held a 3-minute conversation. Later that day at 6:01 p.m., Chris's phone logged coordinates at the Orchard Town Center, I-25 and 144th Avenue, Westminster. It was confirmed a rusty bucket is at this location, 14613 Orchard Parkway. At 6:44 p.m., Chris's phone connected with a router at the Crushed Red restaurant. It was confirmed one is located at 14643 Orchard Parkway. At 7 p.m., Chris and Kessinger went to a movie theater near 144th and I-25. They attempted to see Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom at approximately 7 p.m. but the show was sold out. They walked to a bench near Victoria's Secret and sat and talked. At 7:19 p.m., Chris's phone again connected with a router at a Rusty Bucket restaurant. It's possible his phone merely connected to nearby routers, rather than the couple actually eating at the restaurants. After talking for approximately 2 hours, Kessinger said they attended the 9 p.m. show. Chris never mentioned the 9 p.m. show in interview.
We went to go see a movie, and we went to the movie theater that is up by that lazy dog, I think, on 144th and I-25.
What movie did you see?
That new Jurassic Park movie. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
And I remember we got there, and the first showing was sold out, I think. I don't remember. I think either we were going to go see another movie and it was sold out, or that one was sold out. So when we went up there to start with, it was sold out. And so we left, and we went and walked down to these benches that were right across from the Victoria's Secret. And I don't know what corner of the building that would be on. If you guys need me to go up there and try to figure it out.
No, I'll figure it out. That's okay.
Yeah, and we sat in these benches, on this bench under this tree, and just bullshitted until the next showing of the movie. And then we went to the second showing of the movie, and it was really late. I want to say it was 9-something.
PM?
First time we went out, it was to a movie over at the Orchard, about 144th over there, and I asked her, hey, you want to go see this movie? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. And then we got there, it was sold out, and normally you'd probably just have to, just wait 2 hours, just go home, but now she just wanted to walk around and just talk. I'm like, okay. Oh, wow. So that was different. And
while Chris and Kessinger were out, Shanann would repeatedly try to get hold of Chris but was unable to reach him. It would probably be difficult to explain where he was, and what he was doing, so he didn't return her call until the next day. Nicole Kessinger paid Jim Gutowski on Venmo for Slacker planning fee. Sunday, July 8, 2018. Shanann and the girls are back at Cindy and Ronnie Watt's house. Chris texts Shanann at 5:15 a.m. and offered an excuse for not calling her the night before. He said, "I'm sorry, boo. I fell asleep as soon as I got home. That heat killed me yesterday. I love you so much." He then called her and held a 6-minute conversation. At 5:49 a.m., Shanann posted. Mimi asked, "This is Cindy Watts. Bella, what if Mommy has a boy in her belly?" Bella replied, "I'm gonna send him back and ask for a girl." Then at 9:46 a.m., Shanann posted asking if anyone had used this particular test, a gender reveal test. I think she may have done this test because her comments were leaning towards getting it. And a short while after this she bought the baby's first outfit, which I would say was for a boy. At 11:51 a.m., she posted that Papa was thriving. At 1:47 p.m., Shanann posted showing her nails that she had done. At 4:44 p.m. Shanann called Chris and held a 22-minute conversation. Barbara Kivett, Kessinger's mom, paid Nicole Kessinger on Venmo for happy birthday. Monday, July 9, 2018. Nutgate. Chrissy's Anadarko gift card value was loaded, $250 on this day. At 5:18 a.m., Shanann called Chris and held a 10-minute conversation. Then at 5:54 a.m., Chris left for work. Kessinger at 11:09 a.m., text Chris saying, "You're so considerate. No idea what this is for." Shanann, Chris's parents, and Jamie, Chris's sister and the children, had lunch on the patio. They had hot dogs. After lunch, Bella and Cece followed Cindy Watson to the house for some dessert. At 1:41 p.m., Shanann posted, "Anaphylaxis is a rare but severe allergic reaction. It can occur suddenly, can worsen quickly and can be deadly. Celeste is severely anaphylactic to all tree nuts and kiwi. This isn't new." At 1:43 p.m., she posted, "Can't protect Celeste from everywhere we go with her allergies. But I will protect her home and where she sleeps." At 3:56 p.m., Chris arrived home from work. At 4:11 p.m., Shanann called him and held a 14-minute conversation, probably telling him what happened at his parents'. Straight after the phone call at 4:36 p.m., Shanann posted a picture saying, "She's so darn cute, it looks like they're now on their way back to Shanann's parents' house." Shanann visited 3 nut allergy groups on Facebook. She posted on Facebook, "I need to vent to people who understand. My 2.5 is severely anaphylactic to most all tree nuts and we are visiting in-laws. I specifically said we can't have them in the house when we stay. My mother-in-law stated we don't buy them. I specifically mentioned the ones she is deathly anaphylactic to as well. I arrived and on the floor shelf of her center island was a bag of pistachios, big bad one. I removed immediately. Today she lets her other granddaughter eat an ice cream that has tree nuts in front of and next to my 2.5-year-old child that can't have them. I said I don't appreciate it and removed my daughter. Her response was she has to learn she can't always get what she wants. I'm beyond furious and she's telling me I'm overreacting when my child's life is at risk." Facebook replies from the post that Shanann replied to. "Oh, I'm not coming back. I don't have a car since I flew here, so I'm waiting for my dad to get here to pick us up. It's incredibly sad. And to say my daughter needs to learn she can't always get what she wants, fuck you, you are teasing my kids. A toy at store fine, but letting a little girl eat ice cream in front of her and 5 inches away. My 4-year-old isn't missing anything. Oh, I bit my tongue because my kids are little. But this is last time my kids step foot in her house. She doesn't get it or she just doesn't care. She said I was overreacting. I said when it comes to my children I will fight everyone that puts them in harm's way. She knows. She knows we've been to the hospital twice with these reactions to 2 different foods." Unknown writer said, "Shanann Watts, I think you need to have your husband have a serious conversation with her, lay down the law. If you say it she will hold something against you. He's her son, she won't mess." Shanann replied, "He will. She refuses to read labels. I gave a list of pre-approved foods since she insisted on getting before we arrived, and named brands of items that were safe and she liked. She got none of them. Trust me, my favorite nuts are tree nuts, but they are not in my house at all, because my child's life is more important than a nut." Unknown writer said, in addition to her sounding mean, she sounds uneducated about allergies. A lot of people think of allergies as just a rash or bowel troubles and they just haven't experienced it to know how serious it is. And they think the parents overreact. Another unknown writer said, "It does sound like she doesn't understand what could happen. I think this would be a good time for some real education on the subject. I have had people say do really dumb things with my allergies because they really don't get it and I'm an adult." Shanann replied, "But I have. Her son and I gave her articles, info we got from doctor. This isn't new, she's had these allergies 2 years. Oh, I'm done. I am waiting on ride as I'm visiting from across county. This is last time my daughter steps foot in this house. Chris made an unanswered call to Shanann at 5:24 p.m. She called back immediately and held a nearly 9-minute conversation. I think this is probably after he spoke to his mother. He was letting Shanann know what was said. Cassie Rosenberg asks Shanann about a post regarding Celeste and is concerned. Shanann replies regarding a disagreement with her mother-in-law regarding her children and allergies. She says she wants Chris to say something to his mom about the food incident, but his mom talks over him. Her and her mother-in-law have had it out for 8 years, says she is different with her when her hubby is around and her daughter. She says her daughter is the golden child and her kids. Shanann says Chris was chopped liver his whole life. Cassie suggests Chris confronting his mother. Shanann continued her comments on the post she made earlier. Yeah, she's young, only 60, she completely understands. My husband called her after he got off work and told her he did not appreciate how she handled the situation and teasing my 2-year with the ice cream and putting her at risk to exposure. She also has EOE and asthma. Her response to my husband was, "This is a learning experience to my 2-year-old to realize she can't always get what she wants. F you." Unknown writer said, Shanann Watts, I would be furious. While I get that she's family, like you said, she understands, my grandmother understands when I remind her at 86, it's hard to get them to change their ways, especially since I didn't grow up with it. Shanann replied, "Thank you. She is learning and she's way too young to comprehend how serious it is because she's little. My mother-in-law, I have sent articles, notes from doctor, information on anaphylaxis and how severe it is, she understands. She knows I didn't like my father-in-law eating it in front of her without her having an alternative option. I'm done," and her response to her son set him over the top. "Unfortunately, we have done this on multiple occasions. She understands the severity as her daughter is a respiratory therapist. It's frustrating. She told her son when he called that this should be a learning experience for my baby to learn she can't always get what she wants. Luckily, she's just anaphylactic to tree nuts and kiwi. But those are ingredients in almost everything. It's hard, but it's taught me a lot. Our friends always ask me before offering her something. She's so little and will grab any food and eat it." Chris's sister Jamie also commented saying, "I'm really sorry Dylan got ice cream out CC couldn't have." Ronnie Watts in interview said, "The second time Shanann and the girls came over, we all had fun, we got all kinds of videos and pictures of them in the pool. My other 2 grandkids came over. CC's got a nut allergy, it's real bad, and my wife had bought some ice cream, it's the last one we had, and she had it up on the upper shelf which CC couldn't have got to if she got in the freezer. It is them little single-serve ice cream cups, them little small things like you buy at Walmart. We was in the bottom room and my other granddaughter went in there and got one, and CC got upset because she couldn't have one. My wife said, 'Honey, you can't have that, it might have nuts and we haven't checked it yet.' And Shanann went off on her. Shanann said it's not fair that she can have one and my child can't have it. And my wife said, well, maybe it's a learning experience, I mean she's going to have to learn sometime, she can't have everything that she wants." Shanann went upstairs and then she came down and said, "You're just trying to kill my child," screaming at my wife. My wife said, "You actually think I would try to hurt one of your children?" Shanann said, "I believe you were trying to kill my child." My wife said, "I think you just need to go and leave," and Shanann said, "Well, I'll not come back." This was her second visit. Her daddy come up and got her, and for the rest of the 4 or 5 weeks no contact with her or the grandkids. He said, "I miss them grandkids, they were 30 miles away, we planned on going down to the beach with them, having a cookout at my daughter's house and everything. All that got blowed out. And when we did go to the beach, we was at Myrtle Beach and they was at North Myrtle Beach, 5 miles apart and still couldn't see them." Chris spoke to his mum that day, and told his mum, "You need to think, you need to pay attention. Just because one kid can have something doesn't mean the other can." His parents said they just couldn't deal with Shanann anymore. Cindy said Shanann flipped out and Chris's nephew told Bella to go hide behind a curtain because your mom is not gonna let you come over here again. Chris's niece went and got the ice cream, because she knew where it was kept and could reach it. She got it and went outside and started eating it next to Cece, which was a problem because Cece could lunge and grab it. Chris said he did not know what would happen if Cece just got it on her hand, but the prick test on her back made like a welt. Frank Rusek in interview said, Shanann took the girls over to Chris's parents' house, possibly during the second week of her vacation. Shanann called him and said to get her away from Chris's parents. Frank said that there were nuts all over the house, and some kids were eating ice cream with nuts. Shanann and Chris's mother had words, and the mother told her it was a training lesson. Shanann was angry, and told Chris about it, who spoke with his mother. Chris's mother told him the same thing, so Shanann never went back to Chris's parents' house. Sandra Rusek said, Shanann got home here and was beside herself. I was furious along with her. That someone that you trust would try to get a child sick or die feeding them peanuts. Shanann told 4 people this: me, Frank, Sandra Gironda and Nicole Atkinson. At 8:15 p.m., Shanann discussed with Chris how his mother gave Celeste ice cream with nuts in the ingredients. Shanann felt this was done in defiance of her warnings of Celeste's food allergies. She told Chris, you should call your dad and tell him you did not appreciate your mom putting your daughter at risk today, nor do you like that she teased our girls. You should also say you don't appreciate her saying they have to learn they can't always get what they want. They are 2 and 4. Chris said, I will call him and tell him what I think about this. It's not fucking cool at all because it is the kids. I will set this right. After this incident, Chris didn't speak to his parents until August 6, 2018. He said Shanann told him to not call or talk to his parents after what happened. Mark Jamieson in interview said, Cindy called him crying after the nut incident. She told him Cece had eaten a whole bag of Hershey's Kisses and Shanann had accused Cindy of trying to kill her daughter. A huge argument broke out and Cindy said she had asked Shanann to leave. Cindy was afraid because she thought she had just lost Chris, that Shanann was going to turn Chris against her as that's what had happened in the past. Mark said he contacted Chris after talking with Cindy. He told him he knew Chris's mom and Shanann were fighting again. Cindy had called him and let him know. Mark texted Chris because he was a little upset with him over it. He said, hey man, this has got to stop. I'm tired of hearing this. Chris texted back that he understood. He told Mark him and Shanann were gonna separate and get a divorce. He said he had seen the other side of Shanann that everyone else had seen. Mark said he was here if he needed him, and Chris said he would reach out to him but he never did. What I make of Nutgate is, it started over the ice cream. Shanann was already angry from this, and when she tried to put the girls down for their afternoon nap, which is what has been said by Ronnie Watts, Jamie's daughter was also in the room so the girls would not settle. This made Shanann even angrier. She went to Cindy and everything blew. When Cindy was telling Mark Jamieson, I think she was saying that Cece had eaten a bag of Hershey's Kisses and that was fine, but when it came to the ice cream there was a major problem. Part 6, coming soon.